Because of why I search the deep through endless nights, no time to sleep. The call inside I can't deny. I'll find the light because of why.
All right, let's jump right in. Think about the word kiwi. It can mean a bird, a person from New Zealand, or a fuzzy green fruit. Kind of weird, right? How did one word end up with 3 totally different meanings? Well, that is exactly what we are going to unpack in this explainer.
So here it is, the central mystery. It's like that classic chicken and egg question, but, with a dash of national identity and a trip to the produce aisle. Go ahead, take a guess. What do you think the original kiwi was? Let's find out. And the answer is the bird. Yep, the whole story starts right here, with this small, brown, flightless bird that's native to the forests of New Zealand. This is the original, the OG kiwi. Now, what's really cool is where the word itself comes from. It's not just some random name. It's actually an imitation of the sound the male bird makes, a really distinct, high-pitched call that sounds like kiwi, kiwi. So the name literally comes from the sound of the land.
But it goes so much deeper than that. In Māori tradition, the bird has this really significant name, Te Manu Huna a Tāne. That translates to the hidden bird of Tāne. And this isn't just a label. It puts the kiwi at the very heart of the spiritual world as a child of Tāne Mahuta, the god of the forest. And this quote right here, it just perfectly captures that spiritual connection. The kiwi isn't just some animal, it's family. In the Māori worldview, humans are also considered children of Tāne, which makes the kiwi an elder sibling, a protector. This deep cultural respect is really the foundation for the whole kiwi story. Okay, so the bird came first, check. But how on earth did its name get attached to an entire country of people? For that part of the story, we've got to travel back in time to the battlefields of World War I. So the First World War was this huge, defining moment for New Zealand. As part of the British Empire, its soldiers went to fight in Europe and the Middle East. And it was really the brutal Gallipoli campaign that forged this incredibly powerful sense of shared identity and sacrifice among the Anzacs, the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps. And it was right there, in the trenches and camps of the war, that the soldiers from New Zealand started calling themselves Kiwis. It was a simple way to set themselves apart from the Aussies, the Brits, and everyone else. They took the name of their unique native bird and wore it like a badge of honor. But hold on, there's a bit of a twist. The bird was definitely the inspiration, but the nickname didn't just pop up out of nowhere. There was a specific, wildly popular product that helped cement the name Kiwi in everyone's minds. Any guesses what it was? Believe it or not, the answer is boot polish. Seriously, an Australian guy invented this new shoe polish back in 1906. His wife was from New Zealand, so to honor her, he called it Kiwi Boot Polish. Well, the British Army absolutely loved the stuff and bought tons of it for the soldiers in World War I. All of a sudden, these little tins with the kiwi bird on them were everywhere on the battlefields. The connection was made, and the soldiers from New Zealand became known as the Kiwis. So the nickname gets forged on the battlefield. But when it came back home, it became something way, way bigger. It became the anchor for a whole national identity, for this collection of cultural stuff we now call Kiwiana. Kiwiana is a really cool concept. It's basically all the everyday things, from certain snack foods and toys to bits of slang, that when you put them all together, create this shared understanding of what it means to be a Kiwi. It's like a secret cultural handshake. And this sense of national identity doesn't just happen by magic. Researchers have kind of a 4-step recipe for it. First, you take everyday things like a popular toy and you elevate it to icon status. Then you lump all these icons together to build a shared story. That insider knowledge then helps you split who's a local from who's an outsider. And finally, you keep adding new things to keep the identity fresh and modern. And boom, here's a perfect example of what I mean by lumping things together. For the America's Cup, a massive global sailing race, Team New Zealand plastered their boat with all these beloved symbols. It was their way of shouting to the world, "This is us. All of this stuff, this is who we are." All right, we've covered the bird and the people. Now it's time to solve the final piece of our conundrum, the fruit. How in the world did a berry that originally came from China end up with New Zealand's most famous name?
Well, this one is pretty straightforward. It all came down to marketing. The fruit was originally called the Chinese gooseberry, but when New Zealand exporters tried selling it in the United States during the Cold War, well, that name was a big problem. So in a stroke of marketing genius, they rebranded it as kiwi fruit, piggybacking on the now famous nickname for New Zealanders. It worked perfectly.
But this brilliant marketing move created a ton of confusion that honestly still exists today. As this person on Reddit points out, for New Zealanders, the rule is simple. A kiwi is a bird or a person. The fruit is always called kiwi fruit. So when someone from another country says they're eating a kiwi, it sounds pretty weird to a local's ears. So, after all that history, what does it actually mean to be a kiwi right now, today? Well, the nickname has kept evolving, and its modern meaning is maybe the most powerful one yet. And this is the best part of the whole story. The name has become this incredibly welcoming thing. Just like this user says, it's not about where you were born. If you choose to make New Zealand your home, whether you're an immigrant, a refugee, or your family's been there for generations, you're a Kiwi. It's become a term of belonging. And of course, you still get some absolutely hilarious misunderstandings because of the fruit. This person shared a story about an American couple who thought calling someone a kiwi was offensive because they thought it was a comment on being brown and hairy like the fruit. For New Zealanders, it's just a funny reminder of this whole bizarre history. So, there you have it. Mystery solved. The name started with a bird's call, got picked up by soldiers because of some boot polish, grew into a national identity, and then got borrowed for a fruit as a clever marketing trick. The bird, then the people, and finally the fruit. That's the order. It's pretty amazing, right? That journey from a sound in a forest to an inclusive, modern identity shows just how much history one little word can hold. It really makes you think. So we'll leave you with this question of pondering. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out and digging into this with me. If you thought this was as cool as I did, do me a favor and hit that like button and share it with a friend. And of course, subscribe for more deep dives just like this one. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments. See you next time.